This is Straight Talk with Atlanta native Greg Penn, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shannon Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fan, the Preacher Man.
Well, welcome today to another edition of Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Friend, the Preacher Man, and Shannon Big Papa Jones. What's up, Big Papa? A-L-L.
Oh, little Papa, nothing, little Papa.
Well, little Papa.
Hey, man, I enjoyed being with you on Sunday.
Well, we enjoyed having you. We enjoyed having you. Little Papa is now pop. Little Papa got great.
Pop. Yeah, you pop.
I can send them home.
You so many Papas, somebody thinks somebody's shooting a gun saying your Papa. Too many pop.
Yes, sir. You better believe it. Yes, sir. But listen, we enjoyed your Sunday. Great message.
Bless the Lord.
A walk of love. We really enjoyed
the walk of love.
We
yes,
enjoyed
sir.
you. We enjoyed you.
That's the Lord. Yeah, enjoyed you. The congregation and the team, the staff, everybody was so kind. And my son didn't have his earmuffs that my wife puts on him. She said she put them on in church, but she wear them at home. She put them on so she don't have to listen to me at the house. And she forgot his, and so she took him downstairs. But Lady Fan, Mrs. Fan, was able to see him, and I was very happy about that. I wanted him to be able to sit in service.
Yes, she wanted to see him, and there were others that wanted to see him. And of course, we want to thank Senator James for coming by, Donzella James.
Yeah, he looked good.
Looked real good. Her
looked good, and that was her husband behind her.
That was her husband. And
Phil.
I can't never pronounce Phil's name. He is the representative for this area, and of course Natalie Hall.
What for this area?
Phil something. I can't pronounce his name. I can't pronounce his last name. And then Commissioner Natalie Hall. Thank them for coming by and being a part of sharing their service.
Amen. Well, Senator James lets all the seniors know that you can still catch. There's still somebody out there for you, male and female. Somebody out there for you, Lord. And so, because she just got married.
Why you had to bring Senator James into the dating game?
Well, to the marriage game. I celebrate that,
you celebrate.
The fact that she, that there's always the door of love, That's what I preached on at the church, about walking in love.
A walk of love. No, there's different kinds of love now. I thought you were talking about agape love.
Well, this ain't that she ain't got no agape love. Now, that's
okay. I just want to be clear about
that's
this.
That's definitely erotic.
I want to be very, very clear about the kind of love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice meeting her husband. I've been in his company before, but it was nice meeting him and just having so many people to come out and just sharing love
to
and
celebrate you, man.
Yeah.
51 years, man. 51 years of leading white folks' cousins. How do you do that?
Well, I've gotten so many congratulations on my post. I got Sheila Williams Kane and Brother Cecil Clark and Sister Cynthia McKinney and my former coach, a Little League coach, John Copeland, down in Florida, and thank him.
Wait, stop. Your Little League coach still alive?
Yeah, John Copeland. When we were playing Little League ball at E.R. Carter Elementary School, and he was our coach. He was going to Booker T. Washington High School. We know little kids. I was like in the 6th or 7th grade, right, playing. But he was in high school. You're looking at him as being, an older guy, but he was just.
Got you.
Yeah. And a heck of a ball player.
That's the oldest living Negro.
No, he was a heck of a ball player himself. Former bandmate,
just a few years older than you.
So what now?
Just a few years older.
Just a few years older. He was the same age as my oldest brother. I think he's about 75 now, 75, 76. My
Yeah.
bandmate who graduated, my sister, Elder Charles Lett, my classmate, Diane Kirby, Decent in Order host, Carlos Porter, Kayvon, Arnold, sent me a congratulations. Bishop Ray Neal, and Willie White, one of my classmates, Derek Jackson, and Latanya Miller Brooks, Julia Allen, Judge Rashida Oliver, Tia Sinkfield, went to West Holmes Street Baptist Church together, Roland Green, Carol Curry, Angela Herron, who used to host our TV program on AIB with A New Looking Gospel, Willie Jackson, and Coleman Scott, and many, many more. Congratulations have come through. These are people, many of these people have known me ever since I was, a kid, actually, really. And to tell me and to congratulate me is really an honor that they would think that highly of me, that they would do that. But to answer your question, it's been a joy. 51 years. It has really been a joy. There have been some ups and there's been some downs, but I never thought about quitting doing what I do, and preaching the gospel and the message of love and loving on people and loving those that despitefully use you and living by the principles of Jesus Christ, loving my neighbor as myself and looking out for the least, the less, the lost, and the left out. And that's my drive. That's my drive, fighting for the least, the less, the lost, and the left out, because Jesus said if we did not, we'd go to hell. So I don't look to go to hell. That's not my final resting place or destination. But I want to thank you again for coming by and leaving your service.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, to come by and to bring the word to us. But like your dad said, you probably won't be back. You're too long. Now, we're going to have you back. We're going to have you back because we love you. But we got to, the initials, we gave Shannon these initials, ALL, always late and long. Always late and long.
So what you do with them old Baptist preachers used to come in at them ones that take them 30 minutes to clear their throat? What you do with all them? And Moses.
Oh, boy. It's good to have. It's good. It's good, Shannon, in these times that we're going through, to have something to laugh about, something to to rejoice in, and because we live in peerless time. I got so many comments last week too about our program in terms of what we're going to talk about and continues tonight about Mr. Trump and his comrades in the Racketeering Act that D.A. Fuller Willis had brought before those indictments on those 19 individuals. And today, and we'll be recording this on Tuesday, today Mr. Eastman has turned himself in, the gentleman, the bondsman from Coffee County, who was one of the fake electorate, and also one of those individuals who was letting them come in to see the voting machine in Coffee County. He turned himself in today. And Mr. Meadows is saying that he probably won't turn himself in, but I'm sure he will. Mr. Giuliani said he can't find a lawyer. A whole lot of shaking going on, but Ms. D. Willis said, I've given you 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I'm looking to see you.
She told him Friday at 12 o'clock. And I just don't think she's the type, I don't think she's the type of professor that grades on a curve. I think when she tells you 12 o'clock, you best be in there. Look, I would be on time for her courtroom. I'm telling you that right now. For her,
so you won't be late.
But I'm supposed to be not a courtroom, but for her office, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be playing. Me and Reverend Albert Love, God bless his sweet memory, would be on time for the deadline that finally gave. I tell you, you don't want to mess with that. They say Giuliani can't find no attorney down here in Georgia. I got a cousin over there that he could call. I got a cousin over there right now, the Bigelow Law Center. He can call them right now. Bigelow representative.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit because maybe he may not have the money to pay an attorney. It may not be he can't find one, and maybe he can't afford one. We'll be back.
Let me tell you, Bigelow will take it on credit.
We'll be back on the other side after we see with more about what's going on here in Fulton County, Georgia. Georgia is on the map. Those who go nowhere, those who go nowhere, and share this tonight with your friends and family because we're on the air. Because we ain't nothing but what? Straight talk.
Hi, Miss C here with your 3-minute news blast or more. Hey, Bishop Greg. Hey, Pastor Shannon. So good to see you all again. I have a few tidbits of news. On Sunday, August 27th at 2 p.m., Davis Hill Missionary Baptist celebrates homecoming with guest speaker Reverend Rico M. Murphy of Bethlehem Baptist in Dry Branch, Georgia. Davis Hill Missionary Baptist is located at 651 Harper Road in Perry, Georgia. New Hope Baptist of Whitesburg, Georgia celebrates the first pastoral anniversary of Reverend J.D. Flint, Sunday, August 27th at 1 p.m. The guest speaker will be Evangelist Lorraine J. White. New Hope Baptist is located at 168 McIntosh Street in Whitesburg, Georgia. The women of Flipper Temple AME Church at 580 Atlanta Student Movement Boulevard in Atlanta invites you to come and help celebrate Women's Day with them. That's September 24th at 10:45 a.m. The guest speaker will be Janeda Ferguson. For more information, call the church at 404-522-5080. Reverend Gregory Von Eason Sr. is our pastor. And listen, I have 4 things I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to like us and subscribe to us. The little buttons are there on the front of the screen. And then I'd like for you to leave comments. Let us know how we're doing, okay? We'd love to hear from you. And then the 4th thing is for you to share us. Share us with all your friends. Don't keep us to yourself. Let everybody know about Straight Talk News with Bishop Greg Fann and Reverend Shannon Jones, because they'll want to hear what we got to say. The program is so informative, and you have 2 of the best people in the world to give you our information, because they talk a lot, so they know what to say, right? Anyway, we're going to see you right back here next time. In the meantime and in between time, may the Lord God bless you real good. Bye now.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Miss C is Miss C. She's always bringing informative information about even what stuff that's going on down there in some little Georgia, Bay, Georgia, down there. They're having homecoming, and the preachers that's going to be there from Perry, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia, that's going to be bringing the word there. So if you're down there that way, around that way, hey, make your way to the homecoming down there, the good old-fashioned homecoming. A lot of people may be from that area. So they're having a homecoming, so do attend. And then don't forget about Pastor Joe Flint, his anniversary up there. And get on up there and be with Joe and his and celebrate with him. And congratulations to you, Pastor Flint. And don't forget about the Women of Flipper Temple and their event that they're having over there with the Reverend Dr. Gregory Von Easton, who's running, by the way, for bishop of the AME Church. And we want to congratulate him and his effort to become the bishop of the AME Church. And Shannon, I don't know what you got to say about Miss C, but Miss C always got something to say. And she's saying that me and you always got something to say. Look like to me, Miss C, you always got something to say.
Now, I'm the one that always defend me, see. But I'm going to go on and let you take it tonight. I'm going to let you got it tonight. I'm going to sit back and let you get it tonight. I tell you, you can't worry about your enemies. Your friends will get you. Now she basically said we some big mouth know-it-alls. Ain't that what she called us, some big mouth know-it-all? Huh?
That what she
I don't
said?
care, but I ain't gonna listen to another fish fry she got to tell us about down in Willacoochee, Georgia, till she apologized.
Oh, Miss C. That's Miss C. I tell you, Miss C is awesome, though. She's always got to have
Yeah,
something to
sweet as
fun to
she can
say.
be.
Then, beautiful person, beautiful person. Listen, let's get back to the topic of what's going on, Shannon, with these indictments. And I want to just go and talk about Mr. Meadows first. Mr. Meadows saying that he's trying to get them to hurry up, a federal judge to hurry up and move his case from Georgia to the federal court.
Oh, boy.
So, but if it moves to the federal court, D.A. Willis will still be the DA that will be trying the case just at the federal court using Georgia laws, not the federal laws, but Georgia laws. But the case just be heard at the federal court, and the pool of jurors will come from the federal court jury pool versus Georgia jury pool. Now, Shannon, we learn more and more about this stuff because this is new to all of us, right? I mean,
Yeah.
This is new to all of us. But as we learning all of this stuff, the nuances to these things, Mr. Meadows is saying he didn't do anything wrong, and I think, and I was sharing this with my wife earlier. I said, I think when you start looking at Mr. Meadows, he said, I didn't do anything wrong. Mr. Jack Smith, he whatever he said to Jack Smith about, the insurrection, Mr. Smith may say, well, we might let him slide based on certain things. And he may not. He may come back and still indict him. But here in Georgia, he was a participant in the call. He said that he
originated the call.
Right.
He originated the call as the chief of staff. He is the one that called, got the Georgia Secretary of State on the phone, and then introduced the president as chief of staff. So he was not only on the call, but he originated the call, which turns out to be a very problematic legal call. So it's quite interesting to say, that he didn't do it. They sound like you didn't get in trouble in high school. You did. I know.
No. You the one that didn't get in trouble in high school. You the one that didn't get in trouble in high school. You the one that didn't get in trouble in high school. You the one.
I sure did.
I didn't either.
My father's name is Horace E. Jones. I sure did. You ain't never lied about that. Because see, some folk would get, that I thought that man would kill me. But anyway, let me say this. I told you that. I didn't know he wouldn't kill me. I didn't know he loved me enough not to kill me till I was a grown man. But they sound like a bunch of boys in the principal's office. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything wrong. I just originated the call. And so we just originated the call. So you tell me to make a call. I don't know what the call's about. I don't know what's going to be asked on the call. Why am I getting the Secretary of State on the call? What is that about? And I'm the chief of staff, the White House chief of staff, who is the person that really runs the country. I mean, basically, you can't get into the president. He sets the agenda and manages the relationship between the president and all of the cabinet officers that are running the various departments of the federal government. So this is a very important person, and he certainly played an important role on that call. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want Miss C to get me.
Well, let me just say this though. You make a very valid point. He knew what the call was about, and he knew why the president was calling Mr. Reisenberger. He knew, as you say, he originated the call. If you work for someone, he said he was working for the president, so he was doing as he directed. However, if you work for someone, and this is from a labor perspective, you don't have to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical just because you're working for someone. Just because you're working for someone, you can say, no, I can't do that. That's illegal. No, I can't do that. That's immoral. No, I can't do that. It's unethical. You don't have to do it just because you work for someone. So he became a willing participant once he did it. Once he did it, he became a willing participant. So he is a part of what took place.
Absolutely.
You know, so he can cry all those other things that he wants to cry, but he was a willing participant because he could have said, "I am not going to be involved."
He can do it till elephants become skinny. It ain't gonna happen. Because see, if I was on the phone and you got that started happening, I'd click it off.
Oh,
Hello?
wait a minute. Let me call you right now and tell you.
I think we lost him, Mr. President. I think. Wait. Hello, Secretary. It's busy. I can't get there. We're gonna do this at another time, Mr. President. Go on. You got a meeting to go to. We'll deal with this at another time, and I'd never get him back on the phone again, ever again, if I didn't know what that call was gonna be about.
Right. Do you know? Pick up your phone. Do you know what this call is going to be about? I'm calling you right now. Pick up your phone. Pick up your phone. I'm calling you.
Well, I can't. If I answer that, it's going to cut me down.
Just pick up your phone. Just pick up your phone. Just pick up your phone. Just pick up your phone.
Hello? Yeah.
Shannon.
Hello?
Shannon. This is what I need for you to do.
Hey, Bishop.
Hey, this is what I need for you to do. I need for you to call and tell Mr. Trump he is going to be booked and he is going to pay that $200,000 and he is going to be fingerprinted when he comes to Georgia on Thursday. So call and let him know that, please.
I would call him, but let me say this. I think he knows that loud and clear. I would call him. But if I called him, it'd be a busy signal because CNN didn't call him, CBS, NBC, ABC, CBN, the Word Network has reached out to PTL Club. Everybody, 700 Club, 7,000 Club, everybody reached out to him to let him know that. So I would just get a busy signal.
Okay.
If I call,
well, if you can't get him, then call Mr. Meadows and tell him he better have his tail in Georgia by 12 o'clock on Friday. Will you do that for me?
I would certainly do that too, but I think I'd rather just get my popcorn out and my peach soda and get ready to sit back and watch what happens. Because if they think Bonnie is playing with them, anybody. Black female have press conference at midnight. She ain't playing with you, all right? So they can play with it if they want to. But she gonna send them deputies, gonna walk into one of them Republican meetings somewhere in D.C. somewhere and arrest them, take them to Reagan National and fly them here. Levat is gonna meet them at the gate and escort them promptly to Wright Street. And
she'll probably be standing there with them, won't she? Probably standing there with them when they get them and bring them.
Oh, no. Big Mama ain't going to be standing there. No.
Well,
she going to send her posse.
Okay, well, will you do this then? If you say would you just call Rudy? Call old Lion Rudy and tell old Lion Rudy for me that he needs to go take out a loan at what they call a payday loan. He might have to take him out a loan to hire him as a lawyer here in Georgia because he might be broke now.
I have reached out to Rudy already, and I let him know I told you about my cousin, Bigelow Law Center, who could take his case, and I already reached out to Bigelow. Bigelow said he will give him defense. I said, you will. He said, I will give him defense. And I asked him, I said, well, Bigelow, how are you going to defend him? He said, I'm going to give him defense. I said, well, that's defending. How are you going to? He said, no, I'm going to give him defense. I said, well, how are you going to give Rudy defense? He said, first I'm going to fix it, then I'm going to paint it.
Well, listen, if that Bigelow gonna do that, tell Bigelow to make sure he get the money at least for the fence, okay, and the paint. Now, I want you to do this. There's so many of them that's in this indictment, but I wish you would just tell Marjorie will tell a lie that she keep on lying. She gonna be caught up in the web after a while. Will you just call her and tell her that she'll do like Jim Jordan, shut her mouth now?
I would call Marjorie, but she already she's sitting. She's gonna be Trump proxy. He didn't ask her to do it, but she's gonna go be his proxy. He didn't ask her to do it. They're gonna get enough of doing stuff he didn't ask them to do, like getting secretaries of states on the phone and stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be breaking rocks before it's over somewhere. I'm telling you, with an orange jumpsuit on, she going to be down there in Fulton County at Rice Street, or they're going to get her somewhere, either Rice Street or Linguini Street or Macaroni Street. Somewhere they're going to get her and put her in, because she keeps doing stuff that the president, former president, nobody asked her to do. And nobody has asked her to go there. But the man said he ain't going to no debates. And she says she going there to make sure that he's represented at the debate. So I don't know if she fancies herself as thinking she's going to be a vice president or something. I don't know what Marjorie Taylor Lyons up to.
Well, listen, thank you so much for taking my call to be able to call.
You absolutely
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. You have a good day and God bless you, okay?
God bless you too, all right?
All right, bye.
Okay, goodbye.
Well, you see, Shannon and I had a call, and, you know, everybody I told Shannon about dealing with, he wouldn't call them. He just refused to call these people. He just said, I ain't going to get caught up in it. I'm going to stay out of this mess. I'm going to do it just like this. Now, let's have a conversation about this now.
Yeah.
The 19, that's going to be done. We're going to see it played out real soon. We're going to see the thing in the federal case in D.C. If he keeps fooling with Judge Chuckin, his case is going to be heard sooner than later. And I think lawyers have told him to shut your mouth. Your mouth is your biggest problem.
He said he wanted to hear the case. He wanted it in April of 2026. He keep messing with her. It's going to be on September 26th.
No, it ain't gonna be on September 26th. It's gonna be an August. It's gonna be an August or an October case. It's gonna be coming up real soon, going to trial.
Right.
You know. So hey, listen. But I think he's got some lawyers that told him, man, shut your mouth because your mouth is your biggest problem. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth because your mouth is your biggest problem. Because every time you open your mouth, you say things that get you further in trouble.
Yeah.
You know. So let's talk about this debate. We'll end up on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
This debate that's going to be held, and you said Marjorie Greene's going to go and represent Trump as his proxy, which she wasn't even asked. She just going to do it. Like it's going to be like she did in New York when she thought she was going to go up there and stir up some stuff, and the people said, "Get out of here, get out of here." So let's talk about the debate. I want to talk about some of the candidates that's running. Let's start with DeSantis. Then we'll go to Pence. Then they seem to be the next two probably if Mr. Trump doesn't run.
It's DeSantis, Vivek,
Right.
Ramaswamy,
Tim Scott.
I think it's Nikki Haley. I know that Chris Christie is in the 5th position, and I think, interesting enough, the former vice president is even further away than that. I think he's like in the 8th or 9th position.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about. You mentioned an individual, Chris Christie. Let's talk about Chris. He seemed to be the only one. Now I see that Mr. Huckabee, the governor down there, now he wants to start talking about Mr. Trump. But before he wasn't going to say anything. But look like, when you get wounded, people, they're all right with you when you ain't wounded. But when you get wounded, then they want to start attacking you too. Now Chris Christie has been out there on Trump's case for a minute in terms of him not being fit for office. He wasn't fit for office when he ran for office. We all know that he was not fit for office, but he was elected somehow, some way. Many of us didn't believe that he did win that election, but he did. And we didn't fight that. We let that go. We accepted it and we moved on, and we accepted him as president. But Chris Christie now is saying that he's not fit for office. You got Bob Barr, who says that he would never be in trouble had he listened to the counsel, wise counsel. And Bob Barr said something that was really telling. He said, I told him, and he was told, that if you do what you're doing, you will be in court for the rest of your life trying to defend your action because your action is not is not defendable. So let's talk. I'm just talking about Crispy. What do you feel about Chris Crispy and his talking about the former president?
Well, first of all, I don't think that, personally, I don't think that Dixiecrats would ever pick Chris Christie, um, a New York Eastern Establishment Republican, who they would, I believe, would think that he was too mainstream, and that he would flip on them. It gets into the kind of Yankee, the kind of a view of the Yankee Republic. So I don't think that he has the kind of appeal that a Trump would have, right? Because Trump was able to make inroads into southern states and build relationships that Christie, could not. Now, I think that Christie could certainly pull some. I think that he would pull some moderate Democrats, some independents, but as a Republican, you have to have a strong Republican. Democrats are not going to get a Republican over. They have to have a strong Republican base, and then they can have some fringe support to help bring them through. I don't think Christie, I don't think that he has that. And Morning Joe the other day showed his very high negatives. I think they were in like the high 60s. You look no further than Hillary Clinton to know what high negatives can do to you. I'm not certain. This is not his first time running. He's run before. In fact, he talked about the fact that he was too quiet on Trump in 2016. So his strategy now is to really go after him. But I'm not quite sure that the Republican base, more so the Southern Republican base, that is solidly split between a kind of Kemp type, Asa Hutchinson type candidates, well, Kemp is not a candidate, but Asa Hutchinson, former Arkansas governor, is a candidate. So you have those kind of Dixiecrats, well, I'm calling them Dixiecrats. They're Republicans, Southern Republicans, and I'm not quite sure Christie can really tap into the vein of those. I think that they may be a little skeptical of him.
Okay, now if you can just give me a brief synopsis of DeSantis, and I'm just dealing with Crispy and DeSantis. I don't want to deal with the other candidates. Just give me the comparison between Crispy and the governor of Florida.
Would you buy insurance from DeSantis?
You asked me a question? No.
Yeah.
No.
There's something that's not authentic about him. There's something about him that smacks of an Eddie Haskell, Leave It to Beaver type character. And I can't really put my finger on it. But I think that he's at 19% and Trump is at 42%. And he was fashioning himself as a kind of Trump-esque Make America Great type candidate. And he's completely flipped on that. And, a man has he's gonna be out on bail in 4 jurisdictions. You might not want to connect yourself too closely to him, even though the base believes that these are trumped up charges, that these aren't real charges and real indictments, but that they're politically based, that are trying to stop Trump from being able to be a candidate and to cut him off the knees because the Democrats believe that Biden might be in a compromised position. So they're giving him help, and they're legal. They are. The view is. I'm not saying this, but the view is from these Trumpers and these Republicans, particularly those Republicans that don't believe that Biden is the legitimate president. They believe that the election was stolen. Those that believe that, Bishop, I think that the concern with them is that I think the concern with them is that the Justice Department and all of these various different jurisdictions are weaponizing against. So they don't trust what's happening. To get back to DeSantis, they don't trust DeSantis because the great legal scholar that he is, he does not opine that these are trumped up. He was once with Trump, then he jumped off the Trump train. Then he said that these cases are just too much to bear, and I think that he probably would have fared a little better had he given a clear distinction between him and Trump, but defended Trump in a sense to be able to hold on to his base. He can't siphon off that base because they've seen him as flip-flopping. Now, I know you told me to be quick about it, but this stuff is just too nuanced.
I got you.
And just trying to really put our hand on it.
I got you. I mean, no, you never gonna be quick because you always be long. The other.
There's so much I can say. There's so much I can say.
I know there's so much I can say too, but I try to use a little brevity. But but listen, the last thing I know, I was going to go through all the candidates, but I thought that was the two that I like to compare because I like Christopher Feist. I do. I like his Feist. But one of the things that you said is that he could not reach the Southern Dixiecrats or that Trump could, and we know how he was able to tap into a certain base like Marjorie Taylor Greene and some others. When I look back in history, and I look at when they said Jimmy who, and he became the president of the United States, Jimmy Carter. So I mean, there are some, I think that there are some people that do like Christie. I mean, there are some people that do like him, and they are Democrats as well as some independents and some others. And you already said that they are. That's in the South because we, and I'm gonna say we because I'm one of the ones I do like him and his fire, and his ability to fight against what we know to be a lie, and we know that it's against democracy, and he does understand governance as well as DeSantis. But DeSantis is a flip-flopper, as you said. He's not straight. But you could say the same thing about Chris because he was with Trump, and then now he's running for president again. But there's a lot of them flipping and flopping in the Republican Party. Let's just be clear about that. The other thing that I want to leave with, if we can take just a minute, because I don't know enough about it, and you probably don't either. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution, that Section 3, what says about insurrection, and that's the lawyer that we had last week, the judge that we had last week in the committee we talked about, that they were forming to deal with a bipartisan group to save the democracy, and they are moving to try to get Trump out of the race by that statute in the Constitution that's in the 14th Amendment. I think it's Section Article 3 or something that says that because of the insurrection thing that he was a participant of or the leader of that insurrection, that he can no longer serve in public office. So that's going to be interesting to look at that and how that works out, because they're not letting that go. They're study pushing it, they're study talking about it, and they study educating us about it, because as I said, this is new to all of us. I mean, it's new to all of us because we never had to deal with this before. We've always had a smooth transition, whether you lost or whether you won. It was always a smooth transition. And I was sharing with someone the other day every person that runs for office and loses, most of everybody that run for office and lose, because they want to win, they always say they stole the election from me. They stole the election from me. But it has been proven. That's why I wanted to bring on Richard today, Richard Bowden, because he worked the election. He had a lot of things to say about the election process and how it works. And I think people need to understand that. You know, but they've been hearing all this other stuff, but they need to understand how the election process really works when people go to vote. So hopefully we can bring him on next week, and he'll be able to share that with us. But there's just a lot that we got to learn and figure out, because all this is all new to all of us. I don't care who the news commentator is. I don't care who the information comes. It's just new to everybody. Everybody's trying to figure out all of this and how it's going to end up in the end, you know, in terms of our country, because it's really about our country that's at stake in this very defining moment in history.
May I make a prediction?
Sure.
From where we're sitting right now, in September of 2024, this landscape will have shifted in such a way that we will be in a very interesting place. It could be, you know, you brought in Jimmy Carter, and I think the country does have mood swings. And you had a very popular president in Nixon. You had a Ford who came in and pardoned Nixon and had some gaffes along the way. And the country wanted something more wholesome. And this peanut farmer, graduate of the Naval Academy, and Georgia governor, seemed to be the kind of wholesome kind of president that the country needed at that time to comfort the country. I think I think the critique might be that he comforted it a little too much. And so that's how a Reagan became popular. But this Hunter Biden story can end up being a Democratic strategy to sideline Biden. Because the Democrats can't fight one criminal political family and defend whether the Biden family is that or not. And I'm not saying that they are. I'm just using the language that's ripped from the headlines. If the Bidens are said to be that, it's going to be tough to go after one former president under RICO, which is conspiracy and crime. That's crime family stuff. And then turn around and defend an aging president who is not very pleasing on the eye in terms of retail politics, who's not the kind of president that can go, you know, to a boys' ride convention and throw the football around and look young and whatnot. A lot of ageism in a lot of this. So you could see a very serious threat come from within the Democratic Party, challenging this president, and that not being a RFK Jr., but someone else. You could see this playing field go down and Trump's numbers come down, with folks just kind of tiring of just all of this. And you could see another candidate emerge as someone who can pull votes away from a Biden and in the mood swing of the country be that moderate, be that Democrat or Republican that seeks to pull everyone together and says, let's get on with it. So where we are right now, it will be in a whole nother place, I predict, around September 2024. And it's going to be a lot of fighting and backbiting. And the media says if it bleeds, it leads. It's going to be a lot of bleeding leading up to that. It's going to be a lot of fighting, a lot of political warfare. And we're going to kind of live through that moving. This thing is getting ready to get very dirty and fast. That's my prediction.
I don't disagree with you on that. I think that it's going to be a warfare when they have the conventions like they used to. Not a person just going to get the nomination and run with it. I think there's going to be some delegates up there fighting for their candidates in the Republican Party, as well as probably in the Democratic Party. But time will tell. All of this is history repeating itself to some degree, but some of this is stuff that we just don't know. And that's straight talk for real. Ain't nothing but straight talk. Hey, listen, tune in on 6 out next week right here on Straight Talk with yours to the great friend, the preacher man, Shannon Jones. And don't forget to like us. Don't forget to make subscribe us. Don't forget to make comments. And don't forget to share. As like us, make subscribe, make comments, and share. Won't you do that? And you can send your information out to Straight Talk News. We'd love to have you to be on a guest if you want to rebut some of the stuff that Shannon and I say, or you want to make comments about stuff that Shannon and I say. You want to be one of the guests on the show? We'd love to have you. Just email us at straighttalk1362@gmail.com. As 1362@gmail.com. Well, until next week, it ain't been nothing but what, Shannon? Straight
Talk.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fan at FANN922@comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shannon Jones and Greg Fan, the Preacher Man.